All right, ladies and gentlemen, super fired up, super excited. I apologize for the delay in getting this amazing interview started today due to technical difficulties. But as you guys know, my name is Candace Bird Davis. I am one of the national directors here at this phenomenal company that you're going to hear about today called Total Life Changes. And I get excited talking about Total Life Changes, and I'm even more flat out excited to bring to you an interview today with the man of Total Life Changes with TLC, none other than our CEO, Mr. Jack Fallon. And before I bring him on, guys, I just want to tell you it is truly a pleasure and a complete honor for this man to take time out of his busy schedule just to hop with us on this interview, because I know I'm always seeing him jump off of planes from, El Salvador and Ecuador and Guatemala and Taiwan and Korea and everything like that. So super excited just to be able to bring forth this interview. But listen, I have the privilege and the honor of actually introducing, you said no sound? Listen, guys, if you are hearing a sound, if you can hear me, go ahead and comment in the sections below so I can make sure that you guys can hear me. All right, waiting to see if you guys can hear me. All right, so super excited. Like I said, it's always a privilege and an honor to actually bring forth to the line an interview today from an amazing man who actually who started this company 17 years ago in the basement of his home. I'm going to tell you guys, he is a husband. He is a phenomenal father, but he is a man who actually fought for this company called Total Life Changes. And we commonly say TLC is the house that Jack built. And whenever I say the house, when I think of home, I think of security, I think of safety, I think of family. So I actually have the privilege and honor of interviewing this man today. We're going to learn about the man, the mission, and the machine called TLC. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you all our CEO, Mr. Jack Fallon. So Mr. Fallon, I definitely want to thank you for your time today and taking out time to do this interview today. But how is your Monday morning going so far?
Great. My privilege and honor to be here. So this is a great way to start off the week.
Yes, absolutely. So I know it took us a few minutes to get started, and I know Monday mornings are extremely busy for you. So what I would like to do is just jump into the interview questions, because I know a lot of us in the field happen to ask questions, and it's like, what better privilege to do than to be able to ask the man himself. So I'm going to start off by asking, a lot of people want to know who really is Jack Fallon. So can you tell us who is Jack Fallon?
Hey, just so you know, I did not read the questions. I just felt like it was cheating.
Look.
So, okay, well, that's a good one, Candace. Thank you. Maybe I should. That's a very good question, I guess. Just a person that's always continuously fighting for the people that might not recognize their talents, and they might not recognize the abilities that they have to create the life that they have. Nothing drives me more crazy than someone that doesn't realize the potential that they have. And I just feel like it's been my calling to give a vehicle and to do the best that I can do to show everybody in the world that they have the ability to live the life that they want. They truly do. And it's above and beyond TLC. I mean, anybody that I meet with, friends and family, always trying to get the best out of them, if that makes sense. So I just, we're all here. We're all here for a reason. We're all human beings. We're all spirits, and we're all connected. So I guess if you had to define me, that's what runs through my mind on a daily basis. How can I make the lives of so many other people help make their dreams come true? And it can be very small, it can be very big, but giving them the ability to help them make their dreams come true. So even with my own kids.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, one thing that TLC is known for, Mr. Fallon, is being the company of redemption, being the company of restoration. And, we take those words and we run with them proudly. So my question to you is, how and why did you get involved in the direct sales industry originally?
Originally, I was very young, so maybe money. It was an attractive industry because I saw things that were taking place that you do not see in any other business model in the world. And like, I think every person out there that at least has some experience in network marketing, it just bothers you. It bothers you to the point where you're like, there is nothing like network marketing out there. I have to find a way to be successful in this industry, because it just brings out every emotion as a human being. It brings out every positive in a human being. It's amazing. There's no doubt about it. It's a totally amazing industry. So that, I think, obviously you figure out what attracts you to this type of business model. It could be products, compensation plan. You like being around positive people. And then it has to be something more. It has to be something deeper. And I think that's why we're all, at least people with experience, we just never quit. You're constantly attracted to the industry. It's like a bug in you. You just can't stop. And then you just, you continue to build from there. And then even the new people, that's what exactly, to go back to the reason why we're doing the TLC unified system, is the first part of that system is to write down why you're doing this. That's so powerful, because as a new person, we're jaded, Candace. We think this is just, we just do this every day. We've done it for years. So you got to look at it from a new person's point of view. Even, I don't care if it's, a big time corporate executive at Kraft Foods, when they sit there and look at that and say, wait a second, I literally have to write down why I'm doing this. It just captures their imagination. They're like, it's unbelievable to them. So I think that just goes hand in hand why we all do this.
I love it. I love it. Yes, definitely. Like you said, originally for the money, but at the end of the day, it's definitely for the people. So, Jack, another question that we get a lot from the field is, what did your life look like prior to TLC?
Prior to TLC, I think I was always interested in being an entrepreneur somehow, some way, probably like most network marketing executive, network marketing distributors. I think it's sort of in your blood. You're always looking to make extra income. Before TLC, yeah, there was probably a lot more time freedom. And geez, well, how was it? That's a good question. I forgot.
You should have read the questions, Jack.
Well, no, I like these questions because I don't want to ever sound scripted to no one, because life isn't a script, right? You just go.
Absolutely.
So probably just always trying to figure out. I don't want to say it was before TLC. My mind was always turning. I was the guy in school that was always trying to figure out how to make money. Always, maybe throwing parties and charging people or something. I was always up to something. There's no doubt about it. So I don't ever want to say it. Just, there was never a downtime in my mind. My mind was always working. But before that, it might have been a little bit more structured. We went to Ford, we came home, we did TLC. So that's about it. Maybe a little bit more time structured.
Absolutely. So, we do appreciate your time with us. And guys, this next question, I want you guys to make sure you share this Facebook Live, because I'm really intrigued at finding out what his answer is, because, there is the mystery as to how this all happened and how TLC came about. But, my question, this is my personal question, Jack. What was the actual turning point in your life when you truly decided to engage in this vision and you stepped out of the shadows of corporate America? So what was going on at that time when you said, it's TLC all the way, baby?
Jeez. That's a good question, Candace. Maybe I should have read that one. Wow. I don't know. You know what? It's going to sound kind of spooky, but one of the big things that made me say, this is it, and leave Ford was a conversation that I had with Dale Calvert. Him and I were in Minnesota together. He was consulting for a company that I knew that a friend of mine started. And I remember this conversation. We were driving to the airport to get the heck out of there. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, well, I think I'm on the verge of, taking the plunge and just doing, TLC full time. And he said, you're ready. So those types of conversations through your life, you remember, I think, forever. And they prompt you, when somebody else helps you to tell you that you're doing the right thing, I think it does. And it's scary, you know, and that's what I try to tell every distributor. I mean, what we accomplished, and when I say we is because it was, you know, it was a team of people, it was friends, family, it was never me basically just alone saying, you know, leading the charge, we got to do this. There's days where you have to lean on other people. Every day is not great. So I leaned on a lot of people, you know, through the industry. Great friends of mine, Mike and Tony Kupas, who started ACN here in Michigan. They were always take my call or text when I was asking them questions, you know, how do you do this? Should I do this? And they were always behind you, you know, patting you on the back saying, you got it. You know, you just got to take that plunge. So there's a lot of people that affected that decision for sure.
Well, on behalf of myself and everybody in the field, we definitely want to thank those people, not just for your own belief, but for them believing enough in you for you to have the courage to step out and do something amazing. And that something amazing was, you know, finding or being the founder of TLC all the way back to 1999. So how did you actually find TLC? Or what was, you know, what caused the vision of TLC?
Well, TLC found me, I believe, for sure. I didn't barely find it. You know, what was the vision was basically is that at the time I was, the internet just hit, and my friend was a programmer. He found this software, and he thought that it would work at the a company that I was a rep, and he thought that he could sell this to multiple MLMs. So we did try that, but as I was doing the selling, he was, you know, doing the programming. I would go to a headquarters of an MLM, and I realized that the distributors were a necessary evil for a lot of these companies. They were just set up wrong. I mean, there wasn't one company that I just felt like wasn't running right. Either the owners didn't have good intentions, or, you know, it just seemed like there could be a better way. And that was really the birth of TLC. And then obviously a lot of people contributed to the idea of, you know, products, compensation. I believe that everybody you come across in your life makes you up of who you are today. I was fortunate to be in the company of a lot of great people, great-hearted people, great vision, but I always fought for that. I think that who you're around really turns you into the person that you're going to be, and it helps decide your life. So at certain times, I definitely pulled out of the circle of friends that I was with, the circle of family that I was with, and you have to do that because sometimes they hold you back mentally. They really, truly do. And I do remember making those decisions along the way, because I'm a pretty social person, Candace, and I like to have a good time. But right. But at the same token, I knew that I had to leave some social circles to help make some major decisions in my life to take a different path.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that, you know, you have always taught us, and as well as the other top leaders, is, you know, make sure you surround yourself with people who are going to the next level, because by default, you go as well. So, Jack, another question that I have for you is, what does the day in the life of Jack Fallon look like prior to you entering into the office in the morning? Like, for instance, Ayana Van Zandt, she does a prayer room, and Oprah Winfrey, she meditates. So, you know, what do you do to get your mind right? Because we always talk about mindset, and we always talk about being in the right state of mind in preparation for your day. So what does Jack Fallon do in preparation for his day?
Lots of coffee. No.
Lots of Delgado coffee.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, I do believe in meditation. I do it quite often, especially when I'm on the planes. I try to, or I go to bed or in the morning. I think I sent you what I listened to before.
Yes.
With Wayne Dyer. And all these things I do say try. And the reason being is because, you know, I could, at any time, I mean, I could wake up in the morning and, you know, be doing a conference call for Asia because it's their night time. And then, you know, time slips away from me, and next thing I know, I have to be in the office. But if it was a perfect morning, I mean, it's usually, you know, meditation, a cup of coffee, and workout, you know, shower, dress, office. If that was, but usually it never goes that smooth. It really
In a
doesn't.
perfect world, that's what it looks
Right. Always, you know, my something is blowing up on my phone usually, or but that's all part of it. So if you're a regimented person, which there's a lot of people that really have to go this way or their day will be shot. Yeah, my position is probably not for you. It's pretty easy. You never know what's going to happen next.
Absolutely. Listen, I thank you because there's so many times you get the early morning and late night Facebook messages, text messages. So, you know, I appreciate you because one of the things with any major company is people don't have access to a CEO like we have access to you, and we thank you for that. My next question, because I know you're busy, so I want to move through them. Okay, here we go. The company has a significant presence all around the world. So how did it happen?
It just goes back to attracting the right people at the right time. I mean, we're still in infancy around the world. We really truly are. I mean, and you know, we're doing some things on our end to make sure that our infrastructure's in place. Software, that was a big thing for the software, Candace. The new software is to be global. You have to be global. I mean, I travel around the world, excuse me, and we're going to be one world pretty quick, Candace. You and I will definitely see this probably within the next 20 years. And what I mean by that is if you do some research, they're already figuring out how to have me in Detroit have lunch in LA and be back home at like 2 in the afternoon. Yeah, I mean, we're going to be able to travel the world very, very fast, quickly, efficiently, safely. And so if you look at that, and that's really what everybody wants because the whole world's really the same. You might speak a different language, you might look different, but everybody wants to live long. They want to be happy, and they want to be healthy. So it's going to be one world pretty quick here, and we have to be ready for it as a company. So everything we do with that mindset is, you know, if it works in Detroit, will it work in Seoul? Will it work in Australia, Sydney, Australia? So, you know, those are some of the big things that we're definitely working on to make sure that we're ahead of the curve.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to the ability to be able to teleport to different areas. So I'm ready for that. So, Jack, let me ask you, what differentiates TLC from other business models? Because we know there's a zillion out there, but what makes us special? What sets us apart from the rest?
I think our culture. I mean, we're still building our culture, and the masses are attracted to a fun culture, and we're continuously working on that. People, I think, don't really realize that it's not your compensation plan, it's not your products. People are attracted to other people having fun and a great culture. It's just the way it is. But sometimes we get caught up and say, well, you know, we got to have the number one plan, or we have to have this product, and everybody will, you know, they'll get here. It's not true. I mean, they want to be attracted to a culture. They want to be attracted to the person that's bringing them into the company, and it's our job to start developing our people to make sure that they're duplicating, that they're saying the right things, and you're just going to naturally attract a ton of people. So that's why we're really focusing on the unified training system right now, is because we have, gosh, the talent that we have, we could win the Super Bowl every year. We just had to put the playbook in play, and that's what we're working on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know you touched on this earlier, Jack, but looking at our stats, TLC hasn't even began to saturate the markets. So with that being said, how does it make you feel knowing that TLC is known as the best thing that hit network marketing or direct sales, and we haven't even begun market saturation?
I mean, I feel good. I do get a lot of compliments from other CEOs when I go to those meetings, as far as, you know, what we're doing as a company and our culture that we're creating, because believe it or not, the other MLMs, we're not each other's competition. Mm-hmm. We're really not. And it's hard for the human to conceptualize that. Most of the people in this world haven't even heard of network marketing or know what it is. It's truly like that. So I laugh when people say saturation because there's a person born like every second, so you can't saturate. You know, it truly is. So but you know, people think that, oh, the market's going to be saturated. I just don't believe in that, and the reason being is because the biggest and the oldest companies continue to grow or maintain their you know, their sales since, you know, 1940 or 1950. You know, one of the biggest companies right down the road over here in Michigan, the biggest company, and I mean, you can't even mention the word saturation to them. There's no such thing. But it's true. We do get jaded in the industry, and we think, oh my gosh, everyone's heard of the T, or everyone's heard of TLC, and it's just really not true until they see a new person come in and explode, and then, you know, and can continue to grow. Then it hits them that no, it's, you know, Detroit's not saturated, Baltimore, Maryland's not saturated. So I just don't believe in that word.
I agree. And, you know, that's what I like to pride ourselves on whenever I talk to people is the newest person can come in here and make a phenomenal, ridiculously stupid income and transform a lot of lives with it. So definitely. But, you know, we've been hearing the buzz about the TLC duplication system. You even mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I'm flat out jacked out of my mind about this system. We've been implementing it with the team. You know, we've been training, talking about it, letting them know about the 20 reasons why and everything, but without leaking all of the juice, because I know in Atlanta, some things are going to be said about that. So without spilling the tea, Jack, you know, what excites you completely the most about this system? Like the number one thing that excites you about this system?
You know, what's going to sound, writing their goals down, Candace. And the reason being is if they don't write their goals down, it doesn't matter if they even ever do anything with TLC. Again, I'm after to make the world a better place. If we can get the majority of people to walk through these doors to write down what they want in life, I guarantee their life will change somehow, some way. It could be with TLC, and it could maybe not be with TLC, but I guarantee it will change their life. It's just natural law of attraction. You're putting out there what you want, and it could be as simple as extra income on a monthly basis or weekly basis. It could be just health. You want to be healthy. You want your family to be healthy, and things naturally fall in place that you didn't really realize that will start making your goals and your dreams and your wishes that you wrote down start coming true. You just have to recognize them, and it's amazing. So that's the number one part that gets me excited, and that's why I put that as my profile pic, is because it's not just TLC people, it's the world. Just write down what you want and go for it. Life's too short.
Absolutely. You know, I kind of chuckled when we first got this, and this is what Jack is talking about as his profile picture, because I said 20 reasons why for T. I don't have 20 reasons. And it's funny just because as I started to write them out, I ended up with 47. Then I ended up with 62. And I said, okay, I got 3 lists. So as I accomplish one of the goals, I'm going to strike something off. So I love when you originally put this up, because you said, until you know why, the how doesn't matter. And that was phenomenal, because, you know, one of the things that we teach in the industry as the field is, you know, you have to have a target, because if you aim for nothing, you're going to get it every single time. And I think this allows everybody to have their target. So we thank you for this. And also, you know, what advice would you give a newbie in our business? So if somebody was just getting in, you know, just got their toes wet, haven't even put their foot in the water, what advice would you give them in regards to TLC, being a newbie in our business?
Okay, that's a good question. So just to go back to that a little bit, Candace, I want everyone to know the way I look at it. If I started, basically I view my position as, you know, title CEO, but the way I view things is that this is just really my downline. I view myself as a rep. I view myself as, how did I accomplish everything that we accomplished as far as this team growing? So with that viewpoint in mind, everything that we're putting in place is exactly what I did. It truly is. And in all reality, that's all we are. The home office, the corporate team, that's all we are, is the start of this downline. You know what I mean? So we went back and I said, okay, what the heck did I do And what the heck did I tell people to do? And this is it. I wrote down my 3 reasons. I went after them. I believed. You know, everyone's like, well, where did this Dale Calvert come from? Well, I used Dale for probably 10 years, you know, and pushed him to have him push me. Every successful person, I don't care what they are or who they are. You could have a successful stay-home mom. You could have a successful, you know, person, CEO of another company, or a lawyer, or an actor, or a professional athlete. Every successful person usually gets counsel. You take a housewife, she usually had counsel from her mom, or read books, or so you have to have a coach, you have to have a system. And this is why we're putting this in. This is exactly what I did, and I know this is exactly what a ton of people did in this industry to have success. So we're just going to take it one step further. But if you're brand new, I would definitely start off with writing your reasons why you're doing this. Follow the system to continuously learn how to get customers and why to get customers. This totally makes sense. And be easy on yourself. Success comes, but it doesn't come overnight. Know that everything in life is a journey, and it's going to take some time. So patience, self-development, and just follow the unified system.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And one thing you said earlier was, you know, people read books as part of their counsel and so forth. So if I were new to the industry, and not even necessarily just TLC, what would be one of the top books that you would recommend? So what was a book that Jack Fallon read himself that was kind of like a turning point to your mindset?
Think and Grow Rich, for sure. Man Thinketh. The Magic of Thinking Big. I listened to every single tape I could get my hands on, from A.L. Williams to Dale's tapes are really good. You know, just every guru you could think of. And what that does is it just changes your mindset, and it changes your mindset towards life. It really, truly does. People, and you'll notice, you won't maybe notice, but people will notice as well. They'll notice your responses. They'll notice your behavior changing. They'll notice that, you know, you're trying to make a difference in your life and make it better. So I would definitely get my hands on all those and continue. Here's the one thing is I still listen to them. Anything I can get my hands on. There's a ton of things, or I'll repeat listen, because like Deepak Chopra, he has an accent. So, you know, I listen to him like 3 times before that even gets in, you know. So don't be afraid to repeat and re-listen, because you're going to pick up things later on from it.
Absolutely, because one of the things that we commonly say, even one of my amazing coaches, Stormy Wellington, she says it's not about what's taught, but it's about what's caught. So definitely duplicate that. I actually was writing the list down, so I have a couple new books I need to add to my inventory. But moving forward, Mr. Fallon, what are your plans and goals for the future of Total Life Changes?
Well, the plans, at least what we're literally working on, is, like I mentioned earlier, infrastructure to be a global company. We know it's going to happen, so we have to be in position. We have to continuously improve on every aspect of the business. And the reason being is because things change. And I don't really necessarily think that, you know, all distributors realize that when things change, there's always for a reason. It could be because of a certain country law has changed. It could be the tax law has changed. It could be that an ingredient was good and now it's looked upon as bad. As far as products, compensation plan will never change, but you can always modify packages. You can modify ranks, because let's face it, some ranks are never hit or they're skipped over. So you have to monitor that and say, well, this rank is never really hit. It's not a goal. So you just always have to have the mindset of continuous improvement. So that's what we look towards on a daily basis, and we go day by day. Excuse me. Obviously, we have goals based on sales. Mm-hmm. As a company, I think you have to have those, but we don't focus on them. We focus on culture. We focus on now the system. We focus on the products, because if you focus on what needs to be right or damn near perfect, everything else falls in place. And that's the same as in life. You know, if you write down those goals, don't focus on the details of how they're going to happen. Believe they are, and things fall in place to make those goals happen for you. So it's the same thing in corporate. It's the same thing in corporate with TLC.
I love it. Don't focus on the details. So just write down the goals. Don't focus on the details. All right, Jack, I promise you, I think I only have 2 more questions left before we wrap up this interview. But, you know, one of the amazing things about Total Life Changes, and a lot of people don't understand the benefit of it, is Total Life Changes being a debt-free company. So we don't have the investors to come in and tweak and change with the comp plan and all of that. But besides that, why should somebody decide to join Total Life Changes?
I think if they're looking to change their life somehow, some way for the better, it could be as small as they fell in love with one of the products, as small as, you know, the compensation seems to be pretty generous, where they can see themselves making extra money to contribute to a charity, or, you know, make their life a little bit easier. So I guess the answer, it falls into the hands of the individual. You know, you never want to say you want to join TLC because of this. Let them figure it out. Don't, you know, they will. You're always going to attract the right people that are looking for us. We don't have to look for anybody anymore. You know, we did that for years. We were trying to attract the right people. Now we're in the different stage of the business, and it's like, they just come. And naturally they come because they're looking for a change. It could be a veteran in the industry, it could be a brand new person. The law of attraction works, and we're attracting the right people.
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned the TLC comp plan. So briefly, what is it about the TLC comp plan that made it voted as the #1 comp plan in the industry of direct sales and network marketing, March of 2016? What do you think was the biggest or most intricate part of our comp plan that makes it easy for everybody to win?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? I truly think it's simplicity. It's simplicity for the masses. And when our leadership got a hold of that, and they really realized how simple it was, and they could explain it, it was duplicatable, it was powerful. Because you can have a powerful comp plan, but if you can't explain that comp plan, or at least give somebody some cliff notes of that comp plan, you're not going anywhere. And I do think it was the simplicity. And, you know, I see a lot of companies. I know a lot of CEOs. I know a lot of companies that have come and gone. And I can look at a company pretty much now and know if they're doing the right things, because sometimes they just overthink and make it very complicated, which it's easy to do. I'm not saying that we do that time to time, but if you keep focused on the simplicity, you'll achieve what you want to. And I think that's how the compensation became voted #1.
Absolutely. Definitely simplicity for me, because as a newbie in the industry, you would have told me a binary. I didn't even know what it was in the beginning. So simplicity always helps everybody win. And with the comp plan just being mentioned, I know we have an amazing weekend going on this coming weekend in Atlanta, Georgia. And with this compensation plan, we have so many new people to this industry that are getting their documentations for the 50, the 100,000, the 250,000. Jack, the world wants to know what excites you so much about Atlanta this weekend that, you know, we're having our international conference, thousands of people coming in, but what is Jack Fallon most excited about?
Just the energy, Candace. You can't duplicate this energy. I was on a call, I think last week, and I did mention this. I was never an event person at all. I was more of like, you know, the grinder. I'll just work. I don't really need to be in an event. I don't need anybody shaking my hand or patting me on the back. But what I noticed is just the energy at events when I start going to them in the 90s. You just can't put your finger on it. The first one I basically was never going to go to an event, and I went and realized that's what it's all about. So that's what I look forward to the event. Everybody needs their batteries recharged, including myself and the corporate staff. You get to realize the big picture again. You get to realize how many lives you're affecting. And it just can't be duplicated. It can't be duplicated on one of these live broadcasts. It can't be, you just have to be in person. And it's so funny because sometimes you read the theory or people predicting that humans, eventually we'll just be all communicating like this right now. And it's so far from the truth, it's because humans need contact. They just do, or every plane I'm on a weekly basis would have empty seats, and it doesn't. So the technology will never outweigh the human spirit of other humans connecting with each other. It just won't. I remember in the 90s, they said, oh, here's the internet. All these malls are going to close. And it's just not true, because they didn't realize that people necessarily didn't go to the mall to shop. They went to be with other humans. It's just the way we're wired. So they might have modified some malls definitely to make them more attractive and realize what the audience was really doing there. But malls will never go away. Anything socially, humans love. So that's what I love about the event, this being social.
Well, I definitely want to thank you for your belief in the events. I have been to every event that I qualified for, and I thank you for the belief in the events, because I believe that that's what elevated me and continue to do so, because we always say events will do for your business, which you could never do alone for your business. Sure. With that being said, Mr. Fallon, we definitely truly thank you. We are humbled and honored to actually be able to ask you some questions today. But what I want to ask, what are your final thoughts before we close off the interview? What do you want to leave the audience today with?
Just that I think most people on this obviously this live is that they're already part of TLC. So I just want them to know that our corporate staff continues to work night and day on creating the best company that you'll ever be a part of in your life. They truly work hard. They believe in the vision, and we're always going to improve. In any area that you do not think that we are strong in, we're well aware. I think as a strong company, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses, and we know ours, and we continue to work to improve them. So I hate to say you're at the right place at the right time, but you're at the right company that has your back. We know that we need to do so many things better, and we have the corporate team that want to do that. That's the most important part of this, is that their passion is amazing. So, just know that, and know you have to get to the event. I look forward to meeting every one of you in Atlanta, and we have something that in place, a blueprint in place for you to have success. Doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your education level, your culture. This is something that will work anywhere, and it will give you confidence in your TLC business and in your life. And that's the most important part, is giving you confidence in your life. So that's about it, Cam. I'm just ready for a cup of coffee.
Well, listen, Jack, we want to thank you for allowing us a little bit of insight with the man, the mission, and the machine. So today, we thank you just for serving us in the field, because you are definitely a CEO that serves those of us that are in the field. And I definitely personally want to thank your amazing wife, Jenny, just for lending you to us selflessly. Any other wife could be like, no, I need time with you. But she definitely, I want to give her thanks just for allowing us the opportunity to have so much of Jack Fallon. So today, Jack, we thank you. Guys, this concludes our interview for today. Definitely make sure you thank Mr. Jack Fallon for his time, his patience, his persistence, his fight, and his sacrifice with TLC. Mr. Fallon, again, we thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.